12 countries, 55 cities, and a lifetime of memories. Guys, I'm currently in Pisa Airport, about to embark back home after 2 months Interrailing Europe. So, I guess, goodbye Edinburgh, and I'll see you in July.
And we're here to celebrate, yeah. And I've been dreaming of a day like this. I got my camera, gonna capture all of it. Strike a pose and take a pic.
The awarded degree of Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Theatre and Film, Louis Brzezinski.
Fanciest photographer here. Anyways guys, reality has now officially kicked me back in the face after a couple of days of just chilling out and graduating. So now I'm here in the Highlands, and as soon as you arrive here, that is when you feel like you're back in Scotland. I had to make it a reality check by coming up to Glen Coe, and that's where I'm going to be spending this lovely day, dressed all fancy and trying to get some lovely graduation shots. I hired my gown for an extra week so that I could look like something out of Harry Potter again. You know, this is a magical place and I want it to feel pretty magical. So let's go get some shots on this rainy day. It's not Scotland unless it's rainy, right? So I have arrived at my first viewpoint of the trip here. So I'm here at Glen Coe Lock-in, and I had this vision of coming here and it's just been absolutely glorious, but that's actually not what it is. Even though it is pretty glorious, like the landscape is still just phenomenal. But I just remember this photo of this like boardwalk going out towards the lock, but I've just came here and look at the boardwalk right now. It must have broke at some point, so now I do not have the boardwalk, so that's step one failed. And then also the lock, I don't know if it's because it's summer, but it's not as full as I anticipated it being, so we're just going to have to try to play with it, see how it goes, but maybe I'll just have to move on and take more photos at different locations. Like, this place looks absolutely tremendous in autumn. I really need to come back here in autumn, maybe with a fixed boardwalk and just orange trees everywhere. That would just be phenomenal. But for right now, just have to play with what I've got. That's the type of photographer I am. I know a lot of people are like, you need the best settings, the best weather, the best time frame. I do not listen to any of that. Yeah, it's good to have golden hour, it's good to have blue hour, but if I'm going to be shooting out in broad daylight in the middle of the afternoon, I'm just going to have to try to make use of my surroundings and try to make it work. If it works, then it works, you know, that's my process. So this is why I bring my mum everywhere. She's actually just walked down the path bit, and I think it's actually going to look better standing there with all of that stunning background behind me. Oh yes, I'm going to try that.
I was only for the night, waking up in different places. You wrap me up, let me inside. You're forever my oasis. My heart is home with you.
It is the British
My heart
way.
is home.
It is the American way.
It's just
Oh, it is the British way.
good.
I wonder if I can like, fly with this thing. Watch me. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Oh, it's rather hot here. Watch what I can do. A vampire or something. Wow. It's like I'm gonna do like a magic trick. Ooh. It's nice to be back in my home country where it feels that you do go through 4 seasons in one day. Like, look at it. Like, I arrived here in Glen Coe and I was absolutely chucking it down, and now the gods have just gifted us with sunshine, looking over the 3 sisters here behind me. It is a stunning landscape, and this is why I really wanted to come out here and do a photo shoot for my graduation here in Glen Coe, because it's just one of my favourite parts of Scotland, and I just knew that for doing travel, I just needed to have graduation photos related to travel. And here I am, I'm here in Glen Coe, and funnily enough, I've actually never taken photos here before. This is one of the biggest photography spots here in Scotland. All the top photographers come here, and Like, I've left it so long, and now I'm here. I'm finally getting photos of the bothy over there, and it's just glorious. It's been a really glorious, fun experience being actually in front of the camera. Thank you, Mum, for helping me so much, being my photographer today with a bit of instruction and guidance from myself. But it's still like, it just feels a bit unnatural for me to be at the front, dressed in a suit, looking like I am, I don't know, Count Dracula or something. But it has been a phenomenal, fun day so far. So I partly didn't just decide to go to Glen Coe for this photo shoot. I actually just really wanted to come back to the Highlands and just be lost in the mountains, just, you know, get that reality check that I am actually back home. This is only 2.5 hours from where I stay, so it's not that far. I do come up quite often, and it's always a fun time. And obviously being away for 2 months, I just really would feel that desire to be back up here, and it has definitely hit me like crazy. I am back, and when you live in a place like this, you just do not really feel the holiday blues, because you just know that you've got something good to look forward to. And speaking of which, that bothy, this is my first time obviously taking photos of the bothy, but I should probably tell you, if you do not know what bothies are, they are pretty tremendous fins. So in Scotland you do have some of the most unpredictable weather imaginable. I mean, you can go from really good days to snow in probably the matter of 10 minutes. So we've got these houses basically designed for refuge. So if you are a hiker, a walker, you get stranded in the middle of the Highlands, nowhere to go, no internet signal whatsoever, you can go into these kind of white houses, bothies, and basically you can seek shelter for the night. I do not know if you have to pay or anything. I think there is basically donations that you can make for the upkeep of the bothy, but this is one of the most famous ones, just because of the amazing backdrop. So it's really good for photos. And no, it's not Jimmy Savile's house. That is somewhere around this path as well, but I'm not taking photos of that. But anyway, it's been a really fun day.
Under the dream of growing taller in its infancy of form, how I wished I could have stopped it then from learning how to crawl. In the shadow of my father, I couldn't help from feeling small. In a crowded world full of dreamers, I wanted so much more. Slow-mo, I got a new song to read.
I feel so strange being in front of a camera again. Guys, because I'm sitting right here, that does mean that we are wrapping up this adventure. Thank you guys for watching the Interrailing series. I am now a graduate. I can now say that I am a professional photographer, content creator, all that jazz, and I could not do this series without you. This actually feels a lot more rewarding than actually completing my dissertation last year. Like, what? 27 videos over the course of 62 days of continuous filming, to then I brought out episode 1 8 months ago. That's how long it took me to put this whole grand picture together, this jigsaw puzzle, and this is the final piece. It's took me a while to make this. I made the prologue, if you remember, way back when. I filmed that the day before embarking onto my Interrailing journey, and I've done a couple of predictions and maybe concerns and worries and things I maybe were expecting to come along on this trip. I was going to film the epilogue just as I got back, but you know, life has got in the way. That's why these videos are so far behind. But don't worry guys, they are going to be catching up very soon. I have not filmed my life every single day after Interrailing. I've only been filming the trips, so I will be making quicker progression towards present day world, which is where I'm sitting right now. Yeah, so that's given me a lot of time to reflect on the things I have done on this trip. Filming has actually kept that memory alive. Like, I still feel like Interrailing was not that long ago because I've been watching and making the vlogs weekly. But God, it's been almost a year and a half, and I still believe it was the trip of a lifetime. Like, I don't think anything is going to come even close to what we have just witnessed on this journey. If you have not watched all of the videos, guys, there is a playlist. Please go check it out. 27 videos, and it's a pretty hefty thing to sit down and watch. You can have a whole Interrailing Europe Lost in Travel marathon if you really wanted to. So what I am planning to film here, just to wrap up and tie a knot on this series, is I just want to return back to those predictions that I did when I filmed the prologue many moons ago, and I want to see if my predictions were right. Was the things I said on that video, did they turn out to be true? Did things change? You know. So question number 1, what country are you excited for the most? So my prediction on that was Switzerland. That is because I have been dreaming to go to Switzerland for such a long time. It was actually an integral part to the Interrailing trip, as you could probably remember. I was there for 2 whole weeks. I had some of the most bucket list experiences noted down in part of the Switzerland chapter of this trip. I done the Glacier Express, I done the Bernina Express, I went to Zermatt and saw the Matterhorn, I saw Lauterbrunnen, which is one of the cutest and cool at the same time, coolest villages I have ever been to, and I'm still not over it. Truly I'm not. My bank account's also not over it, but Switzerland, I predicted that to be the most exciting part, and you know, I think my prediction was bang on. Switzerland was a whole other level, especially when I reached the 2-week mark and it started to feel a bit more than a holiday. Started to feel like this was reality kicking in. Got a bit homesick, got a lot of hay fever when I was in the French Riviera. I think there was a storm brewing and it just didn't make me feel good, you know, the vibes were just not vibing. I also think being in busy cities, being in Marseille, being in Lyon, I loved Lyon. And when I was in France, it was just city after city after city, busyness after busyness. I love a good city, but I also like to mix it up, go to some nature. And I think when I was about to reach Switzerland, I was really craving that nature landscape, and Switzerland youthfully delivered. Next question was, what country is going to be the most expensive? And just like in the prologue, that is such an easy answer. I predicted Switzerland. The answer was clearly Switzerland. It is one of the most expensive places in the world. I decided to spend an entire fortnight going around. But you know, when you want to see something so bad, you save up, you put your money towards it. That's the whole point. You know, we only live once. I wanted to see it with my own eyes and fully put myself in the deep end and experience all of it. I didn't want to let anything slip through my fingers. So if I had to go on an £18 chairlift, I was gonna do it. If I had to pay £20 for a pizza, I just had to do it. It's just the way things are, but I did hold back on some stuff. I ate little bakery items pretty much every day for breakfast, lunch and dinner. Switzerland is expensive, but it's such an incredible place. So definitely recommend going, but make sure you've got some money in the bank first. Question number 3 was, where do you feel you'd make the most friends? My prediction on this was, I think I kind of gave a vague answer. I think I was like Paris or Amsterdam, but I generally was trying to say the bigger cities. I felt like ones that are like interrailing hotspots, you could probably call them, ones that the general interrailers do their interrailing trips to. I felt like that was going to be the more vibey towns. I was going to go in the hostels and they were going to be lively, they were going to have lots of parties and entertainment, and I was going to just meet a lot of people and drink a lot of booze. And you know, I was vaguely right. I got to Paris on my first day and I made a friend. Actually, I made a couple. The hostel was lively, at a rooftop bar. It was lovely. I had a great view of the Sacré-Cœur. I really enjoyed that hostel. And as I went further on, I did meet people in a lot of the bigger towns. I made friends in Prague. I actually met up with the girl that was in my hostel room there when she came to Edinburgh later on her interrailing trip. That is what was actually one of the best parts about this trip. I really enjoyed seeing all of the landmarks with my own eyes and documented it all, but I did also just enjoy the whole hostel life and getting to make new friends, even if they were just going to be for a short period of time, just chatting to people, connecting and finding out all about what they've done on their trips and what life is like back in their home. And that's just an amazing thing about travel, is you get to meet so many different people, some like-minded, some not, but we all have this one thing in common, and that is that we're here in this moment right now. And it was great. It was so great. Was my prediction right? Sort of, but sort of not. I did make a really good friend when I was in Rennes. That's just a random place, isn't it? I made lots of friends in Interlaken. I actually went drinking with a lot of people from my hostel there. And here's a funny story. I accidentally knocked my cider over and the bartenders were also having a drink with their mates at the time. It was like 11 p.m. in Interlaken in a small pub. So I went over and I was like really apologetic. I was like, damn it, I have now smashed a glass, the cider's all over, I will pay for another one, I don't care, I'm really, really sorry. The guy gave me a mop bucket and a mop, just got me to mop my mess up. When in Switzerland. I've got so many funny stories like that one. What place do you think will take you by surprise? My Interrailing trip, and this is not bragging or anything, I just genuinely feel like it is the case. I went above and beyond on making this itinerary. I wanted it to be the best it could be, and I'm sure I said on the prologue that the reason why I done such an extensive trip, like I went to over 55 cities or something mind-blowing like that, and the reason I did that was because I wanted a couple of days in each place. I just wanted to like dip my toes, tread the waters in each city and destination that I went to, so that I can then go back and do a full-on like trip there and properly take in the sights. I did say I am a young boy. I was 21 when I went on it, I'm now 23. Life is still going on. I can't see myself not travelling. Like, travel is just part of my life now, and I think, you know, I've got a long time till I'm retired. I've got a long time till I'm going to be an elderly man. So as long as I don't, you know, kick the little bucket, my bucket list is going to keep on going and going and going. So I wanted to do this trip not to be able to like put a massive check onto Europe, but just to be like, okay, I now see where I want to go and what is the most notable places that I'm rushing to get back to. So that's why I done a couple of days at each place, and then I just go to like the major Interrailing hubs like your Paris, your Amsterdam, your Prague. I did do all of that, but I also added in the little towns nearby, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I did really enjoy it. So I predicted Luxembourg for this question, and it did surprise me. It definitely did. Luxembourg was great, especially because you got free public transport, and you know, I'm a castle lover. Luxembourg is full of castles. I went to Chateau to Turobach, but I actually don't think that was the correct answer, because the one that took me by surprise was definitely Slovenia. When I was in Ljubljana, I was completely jaw-dropped with how amazing that is. Such an underrated place. I don't really hear many people saying they're going to Slovenia, and I only spent, like 3 nights there, and that was enough to make me just want to go instantly back onto Skyscanner and book tickets to go. Like, I would go right now. I would actually stop recording in the process of making this epilogue and get myself out there, and it took me by surprise. And finally, which place can I see myself returning to? I'm sure I already answered that on the previous question. I can see myself going back to literally all of them. I consider myself quite a positive person. I don't really look at things with a negative eye or a negative perspective on things. Like, I don't really go to cities and go, I'm not a big fan of that. I might be slightly underwhelmed, but I try to think of like, oh, but I did enjoy like maybe the chapel of this cathedral. It might not be as grand as I thought it was, but there were certainly different parts that I like, and that's just the way I view the world. I don't go to cities and I don't go, boo, that city's bad. Just because I had a bad experience in it doesn't mean it's bad for everyone, and I don't want to give that perspective to any of you guys. So yes, I could pretty much see myself returning everywhere, some more than others, of course. I've actually already been back to one since coming home. I did mention it on the vlog. I went back to Berlin over August. I went to see a WWE show over there, Bash in Berlin. It was a great time, but it also let me go back to a place that A, I only had 1 day there and it was rainy, and 2, I didn't really feel like I got enough done when I was there. It was pretty much just a stopover on the route to Prague, get myself out of Germany. It was a place I was really keen to go back to, so having a WWE show there and then me being a massive fan, I was like, okay, this gives me a reason to actually just go and see the place, and I did. I had an entire day to go and sightsee. Europe, I'm honestly in love with you, and I cannot wait to return and see some more stuff. But anyways guys, that does wrap up this video. How long have I been filming for? Oh man, that's going to get cut. Thank you guys for watching this Interrailing series. It's been a phenomenal one to make. Tell me what your overall thoughts are in the comments below. Tell me what maybe your favourite part was. I'd like to hear from you guys. And guys, as one chapter ends, another one must begin. So this is not the end of me. I've still got a couple more 2023 videos to bring out, and they will be coming out imminently. And then we'll be entering 2024 and you'll get to see all of my journeys from that point on. If you are excited for all that, guys, then please hit that like button, show your support, subscribe so you can stay tuned to all of it coming out in the near future. And who knows, I might be back to catching up on present day me and having to actually think of vlogs on the spot very, very soon. But I do have quite a lot coming your way. So don't worry, guys, the Interrailing journey is done, but the overall travel journey is not over. And I will see you all with the next one. Alright, peace out, guys. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you all with the next video in Denmark. Bye!
Why can't we